I said this about BD in the last game. He needs to be a really strong backbone for the team.
And then, of course, for our last matchup on stream today, we have our map bans. Let's see what map will be playing out. And, well, what are your expectations to come in? Because we are going to Consulate yet again, and who would be favoring that more to the aggressive kind of playstyle that Fnatic needs to play, or to Nora's late round attacks?
High energy
Flip,
Fnatic.
you first.
Oh, thank you. High energy Fnatic. I went first anyway. I'm rude, Hap. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
You know, I'm just interrupting. Milosh isn't here to, like, keep me in line.
At least my desk isn't as broken as yours.
Yeah, my desk, yeah, production has your side. Production didn't have my side. I'm not still bitter about that, but just wait until I get to Eric Andre Upper set in Paris at some point. Anyway, yeah, so Fnatic, energy, bam, bam, bam. If they can bring that today, that's what could bring them this victory.
I'd say that it makes sense that Nora-Rengo decided to go to Consulate instead of Oregon, because they haven't lost on Consulate yet. They've just only played it once. It was against Scars. They beat them, banned it a ton of times other than that. But with Oregon, they've actually lost it quite a few times. So they've got to take the chance. It's going to be a difficult one, though, I think, against the bam, bam, bam of Fnatic.
A lot of bam bams coming in, but it's a really important matchup. As said before, it is potentially about a relegation spot because Fnatic finds themselves at 8. Nora-Rengo is in 10s. Let's toss it over to our casters, Milosh and Jess, to take it away and guide us through this one.
Thank you so much, my wonderful host, Stein Happers. Thank you, Val. We are back. Milosh and Jess. I was going to say Des and Jess, and then I realized, he's not here today.
I've worked it out. Our duo name is Mess.
That's a valid description of my life there, but here we are today. Start of our match of Fnatic versus Nora-Rengo. And a lot of people look at this game, they look at these two names, and they might have watched APAC for literal years and like, oh my god, this is insane. And yeah, it is, because both of these teams are underperforming so immensely that, yeah, it is quite insane to even imagine this sort of situation. But there it is. Start off with their ban phase. Let's see what they're up to.
I'm a little bit worried here for Fnatic because you saw them on Playday 1 on Coastline. They absolutely shredded teams on a really frag-heavy map, which is fair enough. I really do think that coming on to Consulate and you're going up against Nora-Rengo, we've seen them be quite flexible in the way or the styles in which they can play. My worry here is for Fnatic. They're preparing for one version of Nora-Rengo, which has been quite a poor one, and Nora-Rengo get onto Consulate, and then they pull something completely different out, whether it's aggression, whether it's, I don't know, vertical plays of which Fnatic have not been clearing recently. Last time Fnatic played this, I think I actually casted it, Milosh, and that's when they were going up against Talon, and they just went straight to site and planted. I think against Nora-Rengo, that won't work.
I'm quite interested in this. We've now seen Pulse banned again, one game after the other here at Consulate, and there's Valk. I believe it was the same thing. Yes, yeah, it was. So Pulse and Valk were banned last time. They will be banned again away from the defense in this matchup as well. So let's see how it all heads into round number 1. Nora-Rengo starting off on the defense, as you can see, and I'm going to go to that top floor into console office. We're not quite sure what console office is as a call out in Japanese, but I know we wanted to use it at some point, so I'll give it to you, Gio. Console chamber in no, we do know it. Ryoji-kan is apparently console office, and Yongsa Jimishil is in Korean. So there you go. I learned something new today thanks to Gio. She speaks the Queen's English and the Korean and Japanese apparently.
Well, actually, in Japanese, it's Ryoji-kan as well. So there you go.
Yeah, that's what I just said it.
I thought you said
Jessica.
in Korean that
No,
she
I said all of them.
My apologies.
Hiya.
Apologies. Hiya. Come on,
I
Jeff.
put my foot down, man. What are you on about? There it is, our first round, and what do we see? It's a Warden. Let's go.
Let's go. You know why I like Warden for the most part is that I just think that there's multiple things that teams have to deal with now, and most pressingly is the ace with the smoke. I think so many teams have been using ace with the smoke. I think they 6-picked off of him here, and I don't know if that was over to the Capitao or not. I did miss that one as I was looking at my Ryoji-kan for Japanese, but they don't have the ace here. They've decided to bring the Thermite. My understanding was because they thought it would go to bottom floor first. It has not, and now not having an ace in their hand, not having a Habana to play with either, has actually been a big detriment for them, because if they do an admin incoming push, it won't really work for them because they won't have the angles open they need. And with that kind of spawn, looks like it'll be a yellow take instead. So maybe they'll be safe here.
So here's spawn. Sticks is in, and we won't see Zofia ban again. Oh, a quick split off for Lusty. We've seen Lusty after his operation really hit it, and the operation was basically making sure that it can see again. We're not going to get into the details of it, but he's all good to go. And well, you've seen his
LMG?
The LMG.
Oh,
it's so strong, especially with the sight on it, right? You can do so much work with a 249.
I really love it. I mean, you got so many bullets to work with. It has almost no recoil either. In fact, a lot of LMGs that are in the game, Zophias as well, there's just almost no recoil on those damn weapons, of which you think with an LMG there probably should be. And having shot one back when I was in the military, I almost slid off the back of my feet. So I'm not sure how much realism is based there, but of course, for the side of Fnatic, they need to make this work. And especially because there's a 1Y on board, they need to get rid of those magnets so that those bolts can really have effect.
So, Soulboy is going to be saved here a bit, but they're just burning off all the ADSs, whatever utility is around. Of course, Omai has his discs all around to stop things with his magnets. And Zofia Stigs here is just trying to coordinate with the rest of the team to use whatever utility they have to burn these ADSs. Whatever's left, Soulboy is going to get a bit more aggressive at the top of yellow stairs. He'll get stunned forward, and Tech's going to burn him away. Soulboy, what are you doing, man? Cooked and overcooked, I gotta say. There it is. Here's Soulboy down, and a classic Capital play from Fnatic. Great boost here, by the way, that you can use at home. In this 5v4, big advantage for Fnatic and pure control over yellow stairs.
That was clinical. That's exactly how you should get rid of the top yellow, and there was not enough magnets to deal with that. I actually would have liked to have seen a full commitment of all of the magnets, especially as they produce, but there was not. And actually, we've gotten down under the 60-second mark, and actually didn't feel like that round had gone by as fast as it has. But for Fnatic, they have a lot of numbers. They have really good control. Last smoke bay dispelled here, Milosh. There's no other plant denial other than a C4. Do they have that below? They don't. So if they repel in now and get that plant off, I don't think they can stop it.
Gotta do it. There's 20 seconds left. Stakes is going to take a lot of damage here. A long angle that defenders are using. Yoshingo is going to be spotted, but Lusty is going to find Simatuki. The plant is going down as we speak. There's nothing to deal with the opponents from below, and they're going to try to walk up yellow stairs. The most terrible plays here to deal with that, and the plant's going to go down. Papilia will find one headshot on a mag and pick up his teammate, but it's a drop, and there it is between Mag and Stigs. They'll finish the last two. You would love to have an extra cell in these situations, but frankly, losing yellow stairs and letting go of those long angles, it was lost by that point. I love the way that Fnatic were just pressuring the whole time.
My problem is that the defenders had a couple of C4s left in hand, and I think, Milosh, when you're in that situation, I don't know if meeting hatch was open, so I can't really say how possible it was for them to rotate, but someone was top spiral, an easy rotate down or a double rotate down. But why were the two non-C4 players the ones to rotate down? They couldn't really do anything from below. They could probably shotgun, but I don't think they knew the exact position of that plant. And it worries me that, unfortunately for Nora-Rengo, they had the answers there, they just didn't apply it. And we don't want to see that moving forward. You want to be able to win as many defensive rounds as you can, because if I'm looking over towards, Fnatic here on the 13 rounds of Consulate that they have played, their attack is quite strong. They've won about 69% of their, 69% of their attacking rounds each time they've played Consulate now. So you don't really want to be giving away those rounds on the side that that other team really enjoys playing as well.
So Matuki, I'm curious how they're going to set up on loses for all these ones. Opening up the windows. Is it just like to scare your opponents? Like, why would you usually do this from your experience?
I think the biggest thing is that you also want them to use their air jabs on areas that you actually aren't going to contest. You might think in your head, I want to contest by running out a garage door. I want to contest by jumping out of yellow window. That magnet will often always catch one of those air jabs. And this is what I mean. Now they're forced to use these air jabs. You'll hear Magnet, he'll propel another air jab up onto those windows that are open. That Magnet should catch it. And for the most part, it'll just be him going, okay, I've lost an entire air jab. Now I can't cover yellow stairs door, or I can't cover a Visa run out, or whatever it is that he might need that last air jab for. He's kept 2 in pocket, so I wonder what this is about. Maybe conservation?
I saw that there was a ping. I'm not sure if they spotted it or not, but still.
Yeah, okay.
At least you're not falling into the trap, right? That's the most important part of it right now. Bit of damage done to Mario here as Tiggs was on the rappel. It could look all the way down at the spiral, take a bit more damage as he jumps on in. Not sure how that happened, but hey, the Ash from below, again, Lusty being pressured constantly. He's going to finally be able to use his grenade launcher there, but I wonder what the effect was. If it burned off the shield that was being played upstairs in projector, it should have. Yes, it did. So there you go. There's something out of it. But what do you lose for it? Magnet, the Nomad, where air jabs are not. You're already dead. Nothing can be used now. The operator and Nora-Rengo can just, sit back, relax right now. They did so much damage to Fnatic in the halfway point.
Poor Mag as well. I don't know if he still had his air jabs in pocket or if he dispelled any that you saw, Milosh, other than that first initial one. So he did die with 2 in his pocket. I'm getting a confirmation from medics now. Thank you to our beautiful observer. And that means that's a lot of utility just gone and wasted. I understand conserving it. I really can understand that, especially if you're afraid of a magnet being outside the windows. My problem is now is that they've got to watch everything. They've got to have drones in really good spots. And I guess if you're Yoshingo, you could gift a kill to Fnatic by just running towards 3 of them if you want to. But now we have a C4 below. This is what I wanted Nora-Rengo to do in round 1. And I think they might do it in this round, Milosh.
I think so too. There's the angle being held by Papilia. In connector, Tex is going to throw in an EMP that'll disable that Malusi gadget, but Papilia immediately follows up with a kill, knowing exactly how to expect Fnatic. The taps from Mentalist show up, and there's the 556 doing work as is tradition. But what do? You're left in a 1v3. Now, Thermite, you can graduate to Fragmite with this one, but he's going to even be delayed, slowed down, all the debuffs applied. And there it is, another one just waiting for it as he walks in through to projector, finds one in connector, and that's Papilia down. 13 seconds left means he has to go for the frags. A flashbang around the corner is going to destroy the default cam, but Mario has already rotated back in. They'll find Mentalist. The end of the round here for Fnatic. Nora-Rengo, great adaptation, and it all started with just the first spits of the round, removing those windows, put your opponents on edge. Beautiful.
It's something that I coined perceived pressure quite a while ago when I said, if you're an attacker, you should open windows, maybe not on Consulate, for example, but on other maps where it's a bit safer to be able to open doors and windows and you can't be peeked back for the most part, is to open them and make it seem like to your opponents that you are going to peek them or that you're actively engaging on that particular area. And it's just simply by opening a window, opening a door, a barricade of some kind, you do that. Even some teams will open up a Habana hole somewhere and they won't actively challenge it, but the defenders think they are. It's that perceived pressure that these teams are applying, that Nora-Rengo applied to Fnatic, that forced them to have to rotate things around. I will shout out to Fnatic. They didn't become predictable. They didn't let their opponents adapt to them by changing their yellow stairs take to an admin take. But by doing that, Nora-Rengo was already kind of set up regardless. And you lose Mag to begin with. Air jab's gone. You put on the back foot really quickly. It's a tough one.
Definitely so. All right, now we go down to a garage. We got Maestro in again for Nora-Rengo. So the operator we didn't really see a ton of today, even on Cafe Dostoevsky. It's a bit of an oddity actually to say it, but especially after we did EU, which is kind of, a staple operator. But here we are, Malusi on again. So we're trying to find the right angle to put a shield down, and there it is. And upstairs, double reinforcements. Will they go for a third one? Usually not, unless you're planning on standing up on one of those bidets, on one of the toilets, and that'll give you a big angle to use for anybody rotating in or try to push you from the yellow stairs landing down at the piano, etc. But it looks like Papila is kind of set up by the sinks, and he can get out of here if necessary. He's gonna have to worry about utility being lobbed this way, though. I find that a bit concerning. Well, okay, well, bullets too, apparently. You're trying to... Did he get smacked through the wall? Oh my god. No, he did not. He moved away. He moved and tried to contest, and he got smacked on the wall. And you know what? I gotta say,
I don't think he was trying to contest. I think he was trying to make verticals.
no way.
I think he was trying to do shotgun verticals so that teammates can hold from below. You can see that hole in the floor right there. I think he was trying to open that hole. Yeah, right there. And it allows his teammates to be able to shoot vertically if someone enters. And it was just timing.
Oh, no! What are you doing? Nora, what are you doing, man? What is this? Fnatic just found 2 kills for free. This should not be happening. Simotuki's watching, and maybe somebody's going to come in through the lobby, but at this point, you're only watching one specific angle, and they don't even need to go there. They already cleared that floor, and it's not even the halfway point. You're gifting this to Fnatic, and the only person, in my opinion, that can do a lot of work on this is Simotuki on his roam. Right now, Nora-Rengo have to get aggressive. They have to contest.
He could wait it out. He could play passive and play the late game here against Fnatic, which might actually work because he could use their verticals against them once they've opened it up and everything's happening for the execute. My worry is here. Yushingo gifted a kill last round. Now we've seen Soulboy and Papilia gift their own kills right back. I don't think that Nora-Rengo are necessarily thinking about this critically. Now the big question is, Meryu's rotated up for a flank as well. Simotuki is also next to him for a flank. You've left one person on site. If the player decides to go off, do they play hyper aggressive and, to take a big dent in the attackers, or do they just leave Simotuki in a 1v5?
They just need to go for it right now. They have to leave, in my opinion, they have to leave Yushingo downstairs and just put Simotuki and Mario away. Oh no, air jabbed, and there's 2 left. Well, there it is. That roam game is not going to work anymore. I call it roam. It's more like a lurk in that case for Simotuki. 2 of it distinct words Blue would say, and there's text to clean off a flawless round for Fnatic. Nora-Rengo mistakes off of the very first second. Man, this was definitely a rough one. Nora-Rengo have to take the moment to reset here to get back into this round. And honestly, from drawing from your own experience, I know I'm going to do it quite a few times, but you're the expert here on this, Jess. How do you reset your players and you on your own to just get back into stuff like this?
I remember vividly, I used to say to the players, don't look at the score. Don't look at the score. The score doesn't matter because until you've reached the very last round of whatever the match point is, it could go either way, especially when you're in your first half. I think that's when players start to tilt themselves. They start to go, we're not winning rounds here. And I said to myself, yeah, but, made a couple of mistakes. Who cares? And the best thing I think players can do, especially leaders of the group can do, is stand up and show their players that you can make that round seem like nothing.
Okay.
Just turn around and go, that round meant nothing. It doesn't mean anything. We make mistakes every now and then. We're way better than them. Even if you're not better than them, just telling your teammates we're better than them. We know how to play this. These were our mistakes. Here's how we fix them. Let's move on, boys. And this is how we're going to do it. That's the kind of leadership you need. And as a coach, you can't say anything mid-game. You just hope that your leaders will stand up, give the mentality the team needs, because oftentimes mentality means a lot.
I'm wondering how this one will go here. Of course, Nora-Rengo are going to focus a bit more on setting up a bit faster than they did in the last round. Of course, that was the biggest problem, but really, when they see what happened early in the round and they lost those 2 players, that's the reason for them to go back and play the same site again. A lot of people ask this question on socials and chat, everything. Why did they go to the same site? They just lost it. Well, you have to look at what are the reasons for which you lost the round. In that case, it was pure mistakes that could be avoided very easily. So you try it again and try to do it a bit better. So there's the reasoning for it as they set up the last couple things on the site, and it's Nora-Rengo to continue the preparation.
Yeah, late setup. It's a little bit of an oddity that we don't often see with teams, especially in Tier 1. They usually can get things set up pretty quickly, or they've at least dry ran it, scrimmed it, and they know exactly how long it takes. And we've seen a couple of late setups from Nora-Rengo here, which has cost them. But now, for the most part, they're good to go. And I'm looking towards Simotuki on the mirror here. He's got that 1.5 on the Vector, which is an absolute shredding machine. Thank you very much. Some dirty bullet holes as well.
Oh my god.
You hate to see it, don't you?
Yeah, I really do. Remember back in the days when people would play Boulder and just sit in CCTV and just snipe you with a bullet hole? There'd be like 7 bullet holes and you just don't know how to deal with them. That's fantastic. coastline too, right? But you know, I'm just looking at Fnatic, how they're clearing through all of this, because if anything, Fnatic must have learned in the last round that, hey, Nora-Rengo still are trying to play around us. They're going to put players outside of the site, so let's just spend a bit more time hunting them and at least knowing where they are before we go down to site. Last round, we got lucky. We got 2 early kills. We can't just rely on that every time.
Just over half the round has elapsed, however, and they do get that triple wall open. Not a lot of contesting on the wall, especially when you're able to bring that Thatcher along. It just speeds everything up exponentially. Hello? Lusty, did you not know he was there? I mean, just because you opened a wall doesn't mean he just fades into non-existence. He still does keep his position unless you hear him actively drop upon, which they did not. Don't know if that was lazy droning or whatever, but when I talk about lazy droning, this is not one. That's a power position drone, and the defenders know nothing about it.
Unfortunate there, but you know what? That's Nora-Rengo that'll be happy with that trade. Magnet just watching through the hatch that we just saw contested and opened up. 35 seconds left, and Stigs is using his breach charges, something that we see quite a bit on Zofia. There's Soulboy that'll found Tex, but it's Magnet for the refract. Turns for the second knowing about it, but the Jaeger is a bit too fast, and immediately Soulboy turns his eyes back on the objective. Nobody's running into the site. Everything's clear. I can continue to refocus. Simotuki is still upstairs. They're roaming Mira for some reason. Stigs will peek around the corner, and in this 2v3, they can go for it, but Papilia, the long angle, is played. And what do you do now? Mentalist. There's not much that he can do, and there's not much time. It's all done. It's all over. Nora-Rengo recover, and there it is, people. We were just talking about it. They played the same site. They fixed the problems that they had before, and there's just no need to be afraid. That's the mental game, man. It's so important to us.
You're going to laugh at me for saying that. Or actually, you, out of all people, would agree with me for saying this. A lot of people say Siege, or at least Pro League Tier 1 kind of play, is about which team makes the least mistakes on both attack and defense. Which team makes the least mistakes in a game, and they're the ones likely to, you know, walk away with the win. There's a few exceptions to that rule, of course. You know, we think about big hitters, big teams, which almost never make mistakes. But for the moment, I kind of feel like I'm watching a matchup between two teams who they'll win the round if the opposition makes the most mistakes, regardless of how perfect they are. Fnatic there made a huge mistake on the player inside a bathroom. That was a huge mistake. That's something you shouldn't lose to, especially after being able to successfully open the wall. Nora-Rengo in previous rounds made the huge mistake of setting up late, and they gifted Fnatic rounds. It kind of feels like we're not seeing anything explosive. We're just seeing teams make mistakes and the other team capitalize on it. I want to see, now that we're sort of getting to the end of the first half, that each of these teams have just fleshed out those mistakes, or fleshed out whatever issues are arising to cause these mistakes, and we start to see a little bit more fluid gameplay.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. If you go back and watch like SI 2019, SI 2020, and everything in between, you'll... What?
That was us. Do you remember? We lost to Nora-Rengo. Speaking of Nora-Rengo, we lost to Nora-Rengo.
Yeah, that's true.
The coastline, the last point, because of a mistake, a team mistake. And that's what I mean.
Exactly.
Which team makes the most mistakes,
Look,
you're going to lose.
You've had all this time now. Metagames have been kind of setting up in every region. The whole thing is, if two teams are pretty good at what they do, if you make a tiny mistake, the other team is going to wipe you immediately. This is why we've been seeing, even in major tournaments with big teams, a lot of flawless rounds, because that one mistake can be capitalized upon so easily by proficient teams, and it happens to everybody at the highest level of competition. Not surprising at all. It's the same thing that happens even in sports. A tiny mistake can end up, you know, making an entire team fall. It's not only here, but here we are. Fnatic just setting up for their push on the top floor. 2 minutes left, and they're just kind of still setting up for it. Have to burn utility all around. There's a Wamai, there's Jaeger ADSs. There's so much to go with before they deal with Yushinko.
Good use of that EE1D, because what they wanted to try and do was lock out Yushingo there so that they could pepper him both through the wall, from bathroom window and from the yellow window. They don't this time have the Capitao to deal with him, so what they try to do now, I believe, is attempt to flush him out however which way they can, and he's wasting smokes, which is good for Fnatic because I actually don't think they have anything to deal with him. No grenades, no Capitao bolts. So now what they're trying to do is just get flashes in so that they can repel on in and swing on him at the same time. Here goes Stiggs. Yoshingo should know about it, but actually, I think he's flashed.
All right, fair enough. Oh, there it is. Soulboy from below. He's gonna get one, but Mentalist already with the return on him. Nora-Rengo, unfortunate there. They lose the smoke, they lose the vigil, and Fnatic have lost the Zofia. I mean, sure, important operator and utility and all, but a lot of that utility, if not all of it, has already been used up to just breach into yellow stairs. So not much of a loss, but there it is again. Papilia lost to it. The quick peek to try to deal with the drone backfires. And it's now 4v2. They all push upstairs. They burn it. They burn the air jab with Merieux, and then Simatuki jumps out for the kill. If they can pick it up, that'd be huge. They will. Mentalist goes in for the plant. A quick pre-fire from the Jaeger. Merieux's back in on the side. He's got 2 impacts potentially used. He's going to swing wide into the hallway as Simatuki drops down to try to push yellow stairs. The split between the two, and Merieux slowly walking up a long desk. Simatuki finds it. There it is. Mentalist immediately smacked at the end of the long hallway. And now they're checking. If they can find the Ashe on the outside, that'd be big. But Lusty's just holding back. You got Tex as well on the reverse repel of the Lion. And that is such a difficult position to deal with. Fortunately, the diffuser is planted, I think, a bit too far forward. And I don't know if there's any utility that the Ashe can have to deal with them here. This might actually work out. You have a long angle. Can they find it? They're pre-firing it. Mario will get it. Lusty, he can't deal with it. And the defenders will take it. Nora-Rengo on the retake. Are you kidding me? What a beautiful round. The beautiful comeback. I cannot believe it. This is my highlight round of the day. Beautiful.
All off the back of Simatuki, and then conversely his teammate who gave amazing cover there to be able to get off that defuse. I was critical when I saw Lusty outside of Yellow Stairs door. I was critical of his positioning there. I actually thought that that's not the way. If you don't actively challenge the person flanking up yellow, of which, okay, you're trying to play time here, I get it, but you don't have the vertical below. You don't have a lot of other things to deal with. Either you repel alongside your teammate and cover, or you push up yellow and try and hold that line of sight on yellow. It's unbelievable to me that they were able to long arm that in that way. Wow, 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 wow. Well done from Nora-Rengo. They put themselves in a round advantage. And as they go into the last defensive round, if they get this round, it's actually super bad for Fnatic because I'm looking at at least in their last Playday, they were super attacking sided. They lost a few of their defenses against Talon. And when you say APAC attack, I really feel that when I'm looking over towards Nora-Rengo.
I just can't believe it. I genuinely cannot believe that that's... You know, I'm thinking about it in my head, like, okay, Nora-Rengo, if you do this, I swear...
If you do this, what are you going to do?
He baited the air jab. He baited the... I mean, this is perfect. We've seen it multiple times before. That on its own, great, right? You bait the air jab, you go for the kill, you kill the player on the repel. Then you pick up your teammate. There's no way for Fnatic to respond. You're in a 2v3. The problem is the diffuser was planted too deep into the site, and you can't really watch that unless you're on the yellow stairs reverse repel or from the skylight. And I was gonna mention this before. Capitao would have been great to have, but it's so unfortunate. Yes. I'm so sad, but here it is. We got one of the best rounds I think today, and yeah, that was a hell of a comeback there. But Lusty's gonna walk up the stairs here, and are you kidding me? Come on, man!
He's still setting up, Milosh. He's still again.
It's 2 minutes 20, man. This isn't Age of Empires. We don't do this, man. This is SimCity. Give it some time. Oh my God, there it is. Papilia still at the top of Spiral, and the rest of Fnatic are just sitting pretty. They can't believe they even got that early kill, let alone, losing the round before. But here they are. Unless he's going to rotate all the way around, possibly push in from the balcony, put in some pressure from there. Styx is watching for rotations. It's all going good at the Fnatic camp.
Imagine hearing someone still setting up the verticals above in meeting, and you're like, free kill? And you know the little thing where they put their 2 fingers together? This kill for me? This for me?
Papilia just watching at the top of the stairs is going to find one on Tex and immediately pushing in to stock. No, there it is. He's just sitting inside the kitchen. He's going to go into the break room. They know where he is, but right now, Papillia, if anything, is just burning time. He already got a kill. He can get a second, that'd be huge. Pre-firing around the corner. Jackal Ping is still up. He's got still 2 left, and they're pushing him. There are 2 of them. And can he find one? No, not even a bit of damage. A good peek here from Fnatic, but at what cost? The line has already been lost. The last 2 players is Nora-Rengo. That is a bad nitro.
Oh.
But yeah, Soulboy's going to be able to run on back to the site that the air jab connects. Not much that Fnatic can do about it.
They actually didn't waste as much time because they got that free kill to begin with, so that actually took gave them a lot of time advantage already. And then Papillia moving up quite aggressively. He did get a kill onto Tex, but again, not a huge loss there. He did have a drone in pocket, so maybe that's the one loss you can think about here. But Nora-Rengo now in a 3v4 position. They've got about 30 seconds left. For Fnatic, if they don't speed this up now and try and get the default plant off, I'm wondering whether or not there's any denial available in Soulboy's hands. I don't know. We'll have to see if we can get an extended view up as it moves into the execute point. And shots, but Mario gets it in the end, and now top 4 should be back in the hands of the defenders.
There it is, another shot coming in from Lusty, this time onto Shingo. I'm wondering if Mario is playing with a PS4 controller there, but there it is. Flashbang is being thrown in, and the perfect timing to drop the diffuser. Stigcell runs in, connects with Soulboy, and that's Fnatic recovering, grabbing the round here at 6. Hell of a round. It all started off again with that free pick, man. If you count away the 2 rounds where Nora-Rengo gave away free picks in literally the first second, you gotta wonder how this all would have gone.
Yep. Some people, I'm really critical of people say, teams are choking or they're throwing or whatever, but Nora-Rengo, for the love of God, I can't defend you here. There is no defense I could give you when you were still setting up over 40 seconds into. There's nothing.
Look,
it almost
you can't
looks
even
like a team, a ranked team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
they're not prepared.
Look, the usual defense is, but they have so much to deal with as individual players, and they're like, we have reinforcement pools. Did you miss the latest big patch that we had a month and a half ago? Right. Or are we missing something here? That was honestly big mistakes. It happened. The same thing happened twice. It's unfortunate that it really went down the way that it did. But now at a 3-3 half, Fnatic got to be happy with their 3 rounds they were able to put on board. How do they translate things now on their defensive half? See reinforcements and Lusty already saw him setting up one of his, what do you even call those Melusi gadgets? I didn't even know what they're called. Everybody just calls them Melusi.
Banshees.
Banshees, there you go.
Yeah.
There it is. Banshees that they said wub-wubs, as the Geo would say. Wub-wubs. She is of course our electronic music expert here in the team. And Jess is our vocalist, or is it James? I don't know. Same thing.
Let's put James into the vocalist there.
You're a manager.
Yeah.
You're the Karen of the squad.
I was gonna say I would be the perfect Karen for that position. Don't start. Don't. Yeah, that is actually, you're so true. So right. And you know who would drive our big bus? It would be Fluke. I reckon she'd be the one that would drive the big bus. Absolutely.
I would love to see that actually one day. But you know what? I'd also love to see a defensive round that actually started off correctly for a day here, for a moment here today. But so far, Fnatic are just keeping back. They've got their setup done. And Nora-Rengo are just killing up the building. Shingo is just checking up in the office. Nobody through there, but a pressure done onto Lusty, as the Ashe usually does this early on in the round. Destroys shields, destroys a majority of the table if it was not already set up like that by the defenders themselves. Nora-Rengo just trying to put Fnatic on their toes as they set up and drawn in.
Well, Nora-Rengo is on attack now, and that's how it works in Siege. You have the first 6 rounds, and then you move on to your second half, whatever that may be. And for Nora-Rengo, that's attack. And I really want to see that whole in APAC, we attack. Because for the most part, the really disappointing first half from Nora-Rengo, I don't think they should repeat it on their attack. I think they've been quite a slow team on attack, but Consulate, you know, the site's right at the windows for the most part, or it's right at the reinforcement from the outside. It's right at a door somewhere, for example. Soulboy's at one of those entries right now. So that time delay or that time management misplacement that Nora-Rengo has, I don't think should be an issue when the site is right at your fingertips.
Simituki on pressure here in our little connector room. Anybody around there? Tex running the P90 for this one. A bit of inspiration from Uno, was it? From in EU. What was it? UNS used to do it. Doesn't matter. There's the Nitro Cell out onto Soulboy. Bit of damage done, not enough to finalize the kill, but Texas speaks around the corner. There it goes, P90. Got a ton of ammo. You can make it happen. Boosting up Lusty there as, I'm not sure if it did connect, but there it is. All back. Mentalist tag down. Mario will get that kill. And that's pressure from the console chamber window. Shingo is going to keep on moving here through the long desk. I'm not even sure if they're looking at him. Up, booped. Mag down to half HP, but Mag immediately peeks around. Takes down Papilia. This is hell of a skirmish, and there's only so little time left. 15 seconds in just. I can't believe this is still happening. So passive between the two teams. Magnet will collect another one as Soulboy comes around to flank. Lusty with one, Tex with another on the Soulboy to 3v1 as Mario connects. Gotta pull out the bearing 9 for this one. A difficult gunfight to go for sure. And Magnet collecting yet another one, holding the shield. If only there was something to deal with this shield here. I know that Nora-Rengo were trying to play their shield and Wamai inside a connector, but this is the safest way to do things. I applaud this from Fnatic.
What I like as well is that setup from Mag there, it understood the push from Nora-Rengo quite early on, and you can move that shield. If you ascertain that it is going to be a yellow push, if you understand that they might do a console push, you can pick the shield up in mere seconds, replace it in that direction, and then replace yourself and you're in a really safe position. My only problem there is it is quite exposed to the rappel of bathroom, which can be exploited by the attackers quite quickly. It's something that they only need a few seconds to do, and not a lot of reinforcements over there to cover. So that's the only problem with that setup. But when you know it's a full one-sided affair, one-dimensionally being pushed from the other side of the map, you can be pretty safe with that. Almost every angle was covered there. That was a great hold from Fnatic, and it came out of the fact that Tex was just really, I want to say passive-aggressive in connector. I think it worked really well for that kind of playstyle that we know him to be able to play quite well. And for Fnatic moving downstairs now, do they do a bathroom mirror hold, or do they just lock it all off and hope that Nora-Rengo wastes their time?
Confusion sets as we try to understand how Nora-Rengo try to adapt to this one. Let's set up here for Fnatic. We're sending a mute jammer down on the floor, and a Magnet with another one. Is there a Thatcher on the opposite end? No, there is not. The operator not being banned. Unexpected here, to be completely honest. But hey, Nora-Rengo opt to go without it. A Nomad, an Ash, Thermite, a Buck, and a Sledge. The Buck-Sledge combo, I don't know if it's overkill, to be honest.
I've had this conversation, I can't remember, I must have had it with Dez the other day about the fact that, you know, teams sort of just forego Buck as a whole these days. The thing is, the skeleton key was buffed. There's still a lot of viability to his gadget. I know he's only got sort of flashes to work with, but he's got a great weapon as well on the C8. So you can't discount him. I think, worryingly, taking that double soft breach probably wasn't the play when you know that you could take Thatcher, considering the side it is as well. Exactly. So you are right. I don't think it's the best decision, but I think the big point here is to get as much of the floor open, apply as much pressure as possible, and then that wall denial and that Thatcher won't be necessary.
I mean, let's be honest. It's not going to be necessary even at this point now. There's a Thermite being smacked in the face. Mario is down. And you're going to need to deal with whatever your opponents are bringing. Okay, there it is. I love the tags, by the way. I love the fact that you can actually like see pop-ups and icons of, hey, there are things here.
Ping 2.0.
Yeah, there's a lot of positives about it. I can't wait to see how the developers actually intend to change things to make it a bit more fair, as current iteration is a bit, you know, iffy, but they even realized it. They saw a whole blog post about it as they're working on some changes and fixes for it. You got to recover that diffuser at the halfway point. Nora-Rengo are on the top floor, like all the way up top in a console chamber. Not even down. And let me tell you, I've been to many console chambers in my life. This is, I will be to one very, very soon. Same with you, Jess, actually. But right now,
I'm jealous.
I mean, Let's be honest.
I need to be in mine.
My
I
printer-
can't even go to mine.
My printer is going to have to work overtime to get all paperwork done, so don't you worry about it. And you know what? Nora-Rengo have to work overtime for this, because, yeah, they actually got the side of the wall opened up, despite the fact that the Thermite was killed before. Simituki might have grabbed Tex here, but he's so low on HP, the fight could have really gone either way.
He's lucky he was able to clear that, and I am now confused by the push that Nora-Rengo want to employ here. Do they know Lusty's here? No, they don't. They're so tunnel visioned on the mirror, and actually that's a bit of a gift there because Lusty should be able to trade this out pretty clearly. And as we get down to 30 seconds, time is dwindling, and Lusty is in a power position because the push is happening now from the east.
Oh,
and
are you joking? Papilia, what are you doing, man? Okay.
Oh.
This is... I don't think SpaghettiOs can save you in this one. Soulboy's gonna walk on into the van. He finds a headshot, actually. Potentially, perhaps. Spaghetti, don't downplay it. It's running all over the floor, all out of... the...
C4!
Go for it! No, it's gonna go for the gunfight. Delaying the time. The Nomad tagging around the corner! Soulboy, no!
Windows!
I swear to God.
What is this game, Milosh? What is this game? Whew. We relax, we calm, we collect ourselves, and we say to ourselves, in moments like that, you should not win when there's a mirror window between you and the last attacker who is not attempting a plant. C4 still in hand, I get it, you know, couldn't have deployed it there because he wasn't planting. But my goodness, Soulboy, have you kept your team in the fight here against Fnatic, who quite rightfully should have won that round?
Look, I gotta be honest. You know what that like last 3 seconds of the last round remind me of? And don't give me that whole, yeah, but it's a spoiler. The show's been out for 15 years. It's like the Office USA when when you walk into the office and you have that big old bowl of chili.
Oh.
And everything just falls on the floor. You're squirming in the chili. You know, it's terrible. It's disgusting. This was the last 3 seconds of the last round. I mean, honestly, man. I say chili because mom's spaghetti at this point is no longer deep in your pockets. It's all out. This was really sad to see. Honestly, very good from Soulboy. Able to keep it together in these heated moments. And Fnatic setting up here. You see even the timing. Trying to get it on point. I'm going to go for that Mew Jammer again by the bathroom. And Nora-Rengo setting up in a 4-4. The game that has really given us a lot. I can tell you that. It's a full buffet for this one.
What's our last matchup here tonight? The others played offline, so we want to show here. We want to be able to cap it off with style.
Oh, there
and I think
we
that's
are.
exactly what both of these teams are putting on for us. My worry here now for Fnatic is that they're relying on both of these mirrors. And that's fair enough to rely on, but the trouble is where Mentalist is, he can't see default, the rush is happening, this is what I'm talking about, Smokes won't stop this.
They're planting in?
They don't know.
Hello?
They don't know.
No, they got it from above! Tex Stags, they got him from above. Beautifully done. Tex is rotated back down using the rotation hole. Nora-Rengo, we see the shenanigans that you're up to if I were to use that 2013 YouTube word here, but you know what? Combined together, Nora-Rengo's players do not even have enough HP to harbor one full health operator. So not a great point to be in. Fnatic got a...
You know what? I just realized that Milosh, your setup was from above. It was actually Tex all the way back in archives.
He rotated the rotation hole. There was one player upstairs, and there was Tex that rotated down that watched the rotation hole that was already created into white van. Beautiful play from Fnatic.
That's unbelievable.
Honestly,
I actually think he wall banged as well because there was no hole there.
What gave him the info?
I think Stiggs, when he said that his smoke is not connecting, and you can hear the choking sounds when the smoke does go off. So if he's not getting that indication, Tex in his mind is like, you know what? I've just got to go off. I've got to make this pop. I've got to make something happen here. And is someone still in bathroom? What?
Dude, isn't Nitro that was already deployed? What is going on?
Yeah, pre-placed as well. Wow.
Okay. Fair enough. Nora-Rengo have to work with what they've got, and let's say a staunch line of Elven Spears await them, as all Fnatic are pretty much poised and ready for this. Magnet's the only one that's taking a bit of damage. Yoshingo, I'm not sure if he wants to drop the hatch there, but you can at this point. You gotta go for something. He's unsure if there's gonna be somebody from Fnatic to catch him on the drop. There's nobody here in the servers area or by the lockers.
Fnatic are playing this smart, Milosh.
They popped the Mira. They're going the other way. This is so smart.
I mean, they could do this, but they're out of time. They're up against 5 Fnatic players, all of which are not throwing their bodies on the line here. They're playing for time, and they're playing it perfectly, and that's what you expect, a flawless round from Fnatic. That is how you play a round where you get a couple of picks really early on. We've seen it in other rounds where Fnatic have been able on their attack to use that against Nora-Rengo, and now it's seeming like a recurring trend here on defense for Fnatic as well.
You'll love to see it after the round that happened a couple ago. You kind of need to bring it back as best as possible. Fnatic setting up, bringing the Maestro here, and they're going to go for lobby press room. Are they going to 6th pick off into another operator? We'll see. I'm interested about that alibi. Usually, I know a lot of people, something say, you know what, Milosh, you've already been called trash because you thought alibi was good. But fair enough. But in this case, you can make it happen, right? The MX4 still does a lot of work. If necessary, you can delay your opponents, really confuse them the whole time. You got impacts, you whatever you want, you know. There's a lot of flexibility that you can bring to the table, and they're bringing the impacts. How many sets of impacts are we bringing? Holy Toledo. Oh my god. You know what? I didn't think that we were going out into the wilderness catching Pokemon today, but we got 6 of those here to pack up for Fnatic.
Man, you gotta catch them all. You need one for every player on the other team.
I'm gonna go and waste my Master Ball on a Rattata. This is what I'm gonna do today.
It's
trigger
Rattata,
everybody.
isn't it?
Whatever it is.
Isn't it Rattata?
I don't know if it is or not. Is it Rattata or
I'm pretty
Rattata?
sure.
I might have. If it is like that, I have probably been pronouncing it incorrectly since age 7. So you may have.
I hate to school you like this, Milosh, but I think it's Rattata.
Good lord. Okay, you know what?
Look, it doesn't matter. You bring up the impact thing. I'm surprised as well. I don't know if Lusty has the secondary as well alongside. We won't really be able to see because he's got his Storm out at the moment. But if he has the Bailiff in hand, so does Maestro. That's so much destructibility they have in their hands now. My worry is that my stomach is rumbling. I don't know if you can hear it on the microphone. And Yoshingo is pulling a donut, and it just makes me think of food even more. And good use of that stun there to see if there was any magnets. I really like that, actually.
I mean, I thought you were more of the healthy options kind of person, but I see how it's going today. You know what? We're almost done with the season. I'll give it to you, you know?
Thank you.
Sometimes...
After today, I feel like I've deserved like a little bit of a cheat now.
Exactly. It's, you know, you gotta treat yourself sometimes, girl, you know? So, Papilia pressuring in here on the bathroom window is going to go all the way up on the rappel. Mary's watching downstairs. Somebody peeked, I believe, or not. Maybe it was Debris. It was Magnet that probably peeked there. For just a glance, a moment. He's going to walk on in. It's like giving, you know, that lover's glance away from one window to the other and just walk away. You're inviting them in. Come here. Come in to my realm.
Come hither.
It's not working out too well here. Lusty, he hears that there's an air jab around. You have all the impacts for it, and nobody's looking towards him, actually. He's just trying to find where that air jab is, and it's right above. He knows where it's at. Now,
I don't think the impact would hit that. If you threw it on the ground, the radius is too far. If you threw it on the side of the windowsill in the middle panel, I actually think you might be able to get it from the distribution. I don't think Lusty wants to sort of risk to find out, which is fair enough because he actually is not being aggressed from connector window at the moment, and neither is any of his teammates. So there's actually no need for him to be as aggressive as that. And with 60 seconds left, Nora-Rengo are taking their sweet, sweet time here. He's speaking about that lover's glance through windows and whatnot. Well, I think Nora-Rengo are just giving a honeymoon period here to Fnatic because it's about to kick off real soon. And when it does, well, we'll see whether or not Fnatic propel themselves on a match point or Nora-Rengo, they bring it back to a 5-5 even.
What light through yonder window breaks is the big question for this one. I'm just waiting for this to work out in some way because just now or Nora-Rengo dealing with the alibi hollows and all. Lusty's already found a kill on Simotuki. You know what? With 20 seconds left and you gotta push lobby, this is gonna turn into a bloodbath. And there's one more from Magnet onto Papelia, shutting him down. 12 seconds left with 3 in from Nora-Rengo. Mario will find one. He's got Bearing 9 out, but not quickly enough to fire against his opponents. There's one more kill for Soulboy, but it's just not enough. Fnatic take this round home as Tex pulling out the pistol on the Mozzie. So you get when you're running the P10 Roni. There it is. Round 11.
I love the Roni.
Yeah.
Damn. It's a good weapon.
But it doesn't have
laser.
that cool reload animation though, so.
I know. When they first put Mozzie out, I was rocking the Commando for ages because that way that he flicks the magazine out, I mean, all of us good old Australians will know that that's sort of the swag that a lot of Australians have. I don't possess it as much as other Australians. I don't know why. That's something I'll have to deal with on my own. But the Roni, it just hits like a laser. It has a small mag, I get it. But for the most part, if you hit in head height, it's just, you're just going to zoom through people's heads. And we're at match point. We finally got here, eventually. Either this goes to overtime. That's the only place that Nora-Rengo can bring it. There's no ties here in APAC North. It can only go to overtime. There will be a winner. There will be a loser, as Hap would say. But for now, Nora-Rengo must win the next 2 rounds in a row. And if you look over to Yoshingo, still making me hungry, dropping that -10. Don't know what's going on there for him. I saw him gift a kill on the defensive half on the smoke. It looks like he's just not even in the server today. My problem for Nora-Rengo now is that they've got a couple of players stepping up. Soulboy, for example, in that 1 round he clutched. But the other players are just seemingly lost.
This is it. The only way for Nora-Rengo to stay alive in this one is to just improve their strat and get it ready for overtime. Otherwise, it's all 1 round that can end it all with Fnatic here preparing. 2 Magnets have been set downstairs, and it's usually the deal with Simotoki on the Ash. You want Lusty to be comfortable in his position. If we can zoom on to Lusty for just a moment and where he's playing currently, you'll see him pretty much sitting in Projector, and that's a position Ash can easily challenge from below by just opening up a bit of a hole in the lobby, and you just send one of your grenades all the way up on your grenade launcher. That's kind of the usual strategy for it, and we might just see Simotuki going for it here. There's an air jab being set to destroy the lobby here, and Soulboy's going to drone. I wonder if he spotted both of the magnets. I'm not sure. But you're going to need to burn those, if anything. And well, Soulboy should have his flashbangs to deal with both of them, actually. Oh, there it is. Spotted. Very well done. Good coordination from Nora-Rengo.
Well, one more needs to be dealt with, but Simotuki will be dealt with by Lusty instead. Good little return there. They know this vertical angle exists. In fact, all teams operate with that kind of vertical hole, so I don't really know why he exposed his body so much when they were still in the process of cooking some of those magnets. And I will stand corrected. I was wrong. It is not Rattata. I was wrong since childhood, not you.
All right.
It is I.
Good to know. Medix is even mind blown at this point. Or Observer, he can't even believe that he was friends with you, despite all of this. Understandable. Lusty's gonna finally be pushed back here down to half HP on the Melusi, but honestly, Lusty has burned so much time right now, so much utility that if he can get one more kill on top of everything, that would be huge. A Nitro Cell can delay, do a lot of damage if needed. Just use what you got. He's gonna be burned off, and I don't know, Yoshingo, he doesn't have any more of his bolts to use for this one, only smokes. Styx gets one more on the Maryu, and immediately taking down the Habana. Soulboy down to low HP. Lusty is somehow still alive. I just can't believe it. Yoshingo's gonna go in, and Tex immediately in the middle of the smoke is gonna do work. Magnet smoking off Yoshingo will mean that he goes down, and with Soulboy on the floor, it's only Papelia left to save the day, and yeah, Soulboy on his own on the balcony. You're going to sip on some martinis for this one, but unfortunately, it's not going to be a victory huzzah for it. Papelia walking in with the SMG-11. 4 players await, and there might be somebody downstairs, Fnatic that rotated back. Barbed Wire is going to give away your position in just a moment here. Papelia with no grenades left. 1 drone that looks to be deployed. Tex finishing off Soulboys is already down on the floor. And there it is again, the Warden doing the work. Look at that sexy reload on the MPX. Tex will take it for Fnatic, and that's the victory. 7-4 for Australian squad.
Well, Fnatic finally put that ever so necessary win on the board. Both of these teams were in danger of relegation. I don't know where they will sit after Thursday's games, but I think for Nora-Rengo, it won't be looking pretty whatsoever. And now we move forward with a little bit more reinvigorated Fnatic. I don't think, given that the close scoreline, that we're seeing the Fnatic we saw in week 1 of stage 2, but we're at least seeing Fnatic of some type, some way, a better version, let's say, than we've seen a couple of Playdays thus far. But I mean, Milosh, that was a really entertaining game, regardless of the scoreline.
Definitely so. Lusty and Tex performing immensely well for Fnatic to bring this one back. Saw Tex performing in the latter half of the match, and Lusty the whole time kind of always having an impact. And always interesting to see players really rise back up to the positions that they are. But you know what, Jess? We were just mentioning it before. There's 2 more matches today that will not be played live. Hopefully they'll be uploaded on YouTube later on, but that is it for us today. It was quite a bit of fun jumping on Caster's desk for a while. I'm a bit rusty.
You did brilliantly.
Thanks so much.
I just want to say, anyone who says anything against your casting, you melded with me so well. It's a pleasure to have you here with me. I will even say that I might even prefer you over Dez. And no one showed Dez this. But, you know, don't miss the big bro at all.
Poor Dezichu. You know what? Let's just save him for this one. Jess, we'll toss it over back to our host with the most. Hap, all yours.
Thank you, Milosh. As we are back again here on the desk.